Welcome to Real Zeal, a podcast like no other, brought to you by yours truly, Trish Burke, ADHD, loud, proud and unfiltered. I'm absolutely honoured to bring you all of the topics, big to small and everything in between, in a way that is honest, truthful, with a veil of compassion, all in the name of ensuring everyone feels heard and validated. I can't wait to host a myriad of guests that will blow your mind, and we're going to have candid conversations. They will absolutely knock your socks off. So get your tissue box ready for the tears that you might shed. Pad up because you're going to piss yourself laughing. Strap yourself in and get yourself ready for some Real Zeal. Well, hello, I am Trish Burke. Welcome to Real Zeal. I am joined by a exciting human being who is back by popular demand, my friends.
Am I the first double timer?
Yes, you are.
Yes.
The people of the air and the people of the screen have said, when's Burke coming back?
Today. Today's your lucky day.
It's today.
Yes.
Yes. I've actually been hanging out for you and I to sit down and record
Again.
and again.
Yeah.
A take two, not
Yep,
a take
no,
two,
take two.
because it's the next instalment
Yes.
of our conversation.
Yes.
And I've been pumped for it all day, actually, since we teed it up, which wasn't the day before, everyone.
No, it was 2 days before.
No, it was 3.
Oh, 3. Sorry. Yes, it was Monday.
Okay, it's Thursday now, everyone. So I'm super chuffed. James Burke, aka Burkey, is
Yep.
back for second episode on Real Zeal as a guest.
Yes.
And we are still going to play our game, describe the other person, because for the people of the air that were noopties and did not tune in to our first podcast together,
What are they even doing?
well, they've missed a good lot of
They have.
stuff.
There was a lot.
So much content. Anyway, you have to backpedal. That's your problem, not ours. You can hit pause and jump back
And then come back.
and then jump forward.
Yeah.
In time. But to the
Time
present
travel is
day.
real.
Well, it is now. We've made it real.
Yep.
So,
It's amazing what we can do.
would you like to go first?
Sure.
Okay,
What am I
just
what
for
am I
the
doing?
listeners
Mhm.
that cannot see our gorgeousness,
Oh, yes,
because the
yes.
YouTubers can see that we look spectacular, etc. So, would you like to go first?
Yes. What am I doing?
You're describing me.
I'm describing
to
you,
the
that's right,
listeners.
that's
The viewers
right.
can see, the
Right.
listeners cannot
So
see.
Trish is sitting next to me.
I am
in
beside.
next to, in the power seat that face through the
You're
Sorry,
adopted.
Yes, I got a
3D printed.
I know. I picked up a fidget and I've already.
Oh no, the
Wait,
side quest slide isn't working.
It's gonna. No,
Oh no!
You might remember last time, if you listened, we talked about getting a side quest light, and look what she's done. Of course, she's
got
actually
one.
got it.
And where is it from, Berkey?
Timu.
Proudly sponsored,
Proudly
but
sponsored
not
by Temu.
sponsored
But not
by Temu.
by Timu.
You can get personalised lights, people of the air and people of the
You
screen.
can get everything,
Absolutely.
pretty much.
Um,
Whether it actually ends up being what you think it's being, that's another matter altogether. But these ones came out perfectly, so you know
I did.
you've actually had a pretty good strike rate.
It's even spelt correctly. I did have to thrice check it before I clicked to purchase. Although at $28, who would care if it was spelt wrong? I just buy another one.
We'll just have slide quests.
Oh, that would be fun.
Yeah.
Imagine if there was
Just get another one
slides.
and you
I
just
feel like
switch it out.
the light's really going now. You're supposed to be describing
I
me.
am, yes. Trish, you are sitting next to me looking lovely.
Oh, thank you kindly.
In blue. And with matching mascara as well, which I haven't
Affirmative.
noticed. Yes. There's a running joke about how I'm never going to notice if my wife ever changes her mascara colour. But I have noticed that you are wearing blue mascara today.
I
to match your
appreciate the
blue and
noticing.
white shirt. Thank you. You are a quintessential, in my mind,
Mm.
quintessential little sister that I just love to come up and give a big hug to. And you make me smile every time I come and hang out with you and see you. And yeah,
I'm
you
delighted.
always bring a massive grin to my face. You're always bringing out some of the worst language I know out of my mouth. And
Sorry,
we
not
have
sorry.
so much fun. I would not change it for the world.
Cheers to that.
Cheers to that.
Just so everybody knows, we are drinking G&Ts tonight. There is no water in here, although,
Nope.
well, there's like flavoured soda water.
Yeah, I mean, it's just more flavour, but it's good.
No, it's flavoured tonic. Anyway, what else, Trevs?
Tasty.
We like a good beverage. It's been a week. It's been a fortnight. It's been a 3 week.
It's been,
It's been a month.
yeah. We've actually seen each other a lot in the last 3 weeks, which
We
has been
have.
wild, and not because we've necessarily wanted to, but it's been nice to be in each other's circles a bit more than last time
100%.
around.
100%. I'm going to describe you now.
Sure.
And then we will potentially backpedal to how come we keep bumping into each other.
Yeah.
Not randomly.
Not randomly.
So Berkey sitting next to me, quintessential joy machine is what comes to mind. Also, I wanted to use quintessential before he did, and then he did, and it's like he can read my mind. So it's like brother from another mother.
Still.
We've got a very excellent connection. There is BB bounce between us when we are in the same room. You have great energy, gorgeous caramel skin. Your beard is looking very well trimmed and lush. And Berkey is just such a happy soul. And I truly 1,000,000% enjoy our mazillion years of friendship, probably over 2 decades.
Yes.
So we've traversed lots of life together.
We have, yes.
For which I'm appreciative.
Yeah.
And no regrets, really.
No.
You get what you get and you don't get upset because, well, for both of us, there is a lot of ADHD vibes that just permeate every part of us.
Yep.
From every part of us?
It doesn't permeate from every part of me.
Doesn't it? What about your big toe? There's definitely ADHD in your big toe. It's wiggling.
It's true.
Somewhat.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. It definitely permeates every part of me.
Yeah, it does. You are 1,000,000% an ADHDer.
Which is wild that we never knew any of that when we first met.
But do you know what? People of the air and people of the screen may not know that neurokin, people with neurodivergent leniencies, tendencies, hardwiring, whatever you'd like to call it, we can find each other across a room. It's a vibe check that we were just born with.
And even if we don't know we're doing it, we do it.
Yeah, and then we just magnetize to each other like moths to a flame.
Yep.
And then we just start talking about the deep, dark beautifulnesses of, or not, of our lives. And we are kindred spirits forevermore.
Yep.
And I just feel like, how sad for the neurotypicals that may not get to do that because they have things like filters and they have things like impulse control, which means they don't go, oh, you know that gut feeling of going over and talking to that person? I'm not going to do that because I'm like shy or nervous or something. I'm like, hang that, I'm going in for the kill. Well, not in for the kill, in for the connection. And 100% success rate, I would say.
I mean, that's impressive.
When I walk across the room and I get a gut feeling that I'm going to connect well with someone and I step into their space and we start conversing in whatever whack way that may be. Sometimes it's dancing, who knows, or just, joining a song together, but always pays off.
Yeah.
And people are like, Trish, why are you suddenly like almost besties or sharing your soul with the servo guy or with the checkout person or someone you met in the checkout line, like Pastor Dan from last episode? And I'm like, I wasn't nervous. I was curious about what they were buying and I wanted to have a convo or like I wanted to ask about their haircut or something. I don't know.
So there is some then dissimilarities between our neurospiciness then because I'm just like, don't talk to people, don't look at them.
I dare say that would be the anxiety component within you. Like, what if I go in there and it's not good?
Yes.
But for you and I, we have traversed so much together that I feel like it's just, it's fail-safe when we reconnect.
It's really interesting because I was actually thinking over the last couple of weeks, because we've seen each other a lot, about when I actually first met you. And I don't know if you even remember when it was that we first met.
Well, I'd like to hear your memory because it might jog mine.
I used to go on these camps on school holidays run by an organisation called ESA.
Yes.
And we met leading a junior primary school kids camp. We were both leaders on the same camp.
I do remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a winter camp.
It was a winter camp, that's
Very
it.
cold, Marysville, just
Absolutely.
for context.
Yep, freezing cold. Did a day trip to the snow, I think, up to mountains.
I got a snowsuit from the op shop in Marysville and it gave me a camel toe, which I didn't know that was what it was called back then. And for those of you that don't know, you can Google it because I'm not putting an image up in between because, you can picture that.
Could have been better. I know someone that stayed in Marysville somewhere and got scabies from the accommodation that they were staying at.
Gee willikers.
Yeah, so
scabies.
camel toe's not so bad.
Well, it's definitely not itchy.
And it's definitely not having to throw and burn all your bedding and clothing out. So,
Oh my word. Your poor friend.
Since when has camel toe ever been so positive?
I'm not sure. But I am remembering, I think there's a movie, it's not Bruce Almighty, it's not Evan Almighty, but that same actor with the brown hair and
Steve Carell? No.
Yeah.
Jim
Yeah.
Carrey?
No, Steve Carell.
Mhm.
And his daughter, he goes, oh, like, you got a bit of a camel toe situation. She goes, I love camel toes. And he's like, what? She's like 10 years old. And she goes, people at school call me camel toe because I'm tough. Camels walk across a desert. And that has stuck in my mind as the definition of camel toe.
Fair enough. Yeah. Yeah.
But that is how we did not meet around camel toes.
We did not.
We met at a
But this
camp
is the thing,
leading
like, I can't remember
primary school children.
I can't remember much of that camp, but I can remember like you and I doing the announcements one morning after breakfast or something like that, and instructing the kids on, that we're going to have all these bags up the back of the dining hall where you can write like little warm fuzzy notes to each other and post them in, that kind of thing. The entirety of the announcements was you doing the announcements and me being there trying to write really weird and stupid notes and passing to you as you spoke to try and make you laugh. And
did you succeed?
I did, yes, and interrupted you many times. But I was just like, and from then on, I was just like, that's how we do. And it's been like that for 22 years or something like that now.
Oh, it's so many years.
We're so
but I
old.
feel like we've never grown up.
No, hell no.
Actually, a kid today that I was working with said to me, how old are you? And, well, this was also on the back of the fact that probably about 5 weeks ago, she said that I was 22. And I was like,
oh, man.
I receive it. And she goes, how come you don't look old and you're not old? And I said,
like, because I'm not old.
She goes, well, how old are you? And I said, I'm 40. And she goes,
whoa.
That's old. And I'm like, well, yeah, to a 9-year-old, it is old.
Die any moment now.
Don't joke about that.
True.
Oh, fuck. It's too soon. It's too soon, Burke. We were at a funeral literally 10 days ago.
Yeah. That's where we've been hanging out at funerals.
I actually went to another funeral yesterday.
I know.
I'm like a serial funeral goer-tourer.
Is there something you need to tell us?
I've had a health check. I'm fine.
Okay, cool. It's good.
You should too.
Yeah.
I'm getting a bit paranoid about men our age. That's all I've got to say.
Yeah.
Get your health checks done, people. It will potentially save your life.
Yes.
But we did reconnect at a funeral. Not reconnect. We just were at the same funeral.
We're at the same funeral.
But the funeral I was at yesterday became a booze up.
Hey.
Because that
was him?
It was him.
Yeah.
And he would have been so impressed that I found these mini cocktail cans that were like 22% alcohol in 130 mils. 130 mils is not much beverage, everyone. I really should have brought one out as a prop.
Yeah.
But I looked at the back. The pina colada one was only 14%. Might I say that afterwards I was like using my perimenopause fan to fan myself because I was flushed as an Asian does get after a beverage of the alcohol variety.
She's Asian. She's allowed to say that.
I'm Haitian, half Asian.
True.
But
yes.
Eurasian sounds better.
You're Asian.
No, you're Asian. You're Asian too.
Yeah, I know.
We're both half Asian. Are you half Asian?
Yes.
Oh, we covered that last time.
We did. But go and watch that episode.
Or listen to it, whatever you like.
Both. Put the podcast on while you're on YouTube at the same time and see if you can get them syncing up properly.
Yeah, that would be weird if the mouths are not moving at the same time. Odd. So, yes, we did lead on some kids' camps together.
Yep.
And we were in the band, Alma Kids Camp.
We were.
Together,
Yes.
And we rocked out. Can
We
I
did.
just say, I was playing History Maker in the car on full bore
Nice.
and having a good sing-along and air drum because I'm really into air
course.
drumming now because
Yes.
that's my practice
You're doing the drumming now.
for the drumming.
Yep.
Because then I can just get the beats happening and the coordination happening. And then when I pick up the sticks on the actual drum kit, my plan is that I will just be legendary.
It's happening. Yep. Straight away.
Ringo Starr vibes.
That's it.
Yeah.
All 4 hands and feet going independently.
4 hands?
4 hands and feet. 2 hands, 2 feet.
Oh, okay.
But all 4
Thank
moving
God you did the
independent-
maths for me because it
You're
could have gone bad.
All 4 moving independently.
It's actually quite a lot of coordination, everyone.
It's a lot of coordination, but it's one of those things where so I'm a drummer. I've played drums since I was like 12 years old. And I had to think about the fact that I can do that independently.
Can you sing at the same time?
This is the thing. I can't sing and play drums.
It's actually quite challenging.
Yeah.
I
can play bass and sing. I can play guitar and sing at the same time.
Yeah.
I can't play drums and sing at the same time.
That's because you're waving 4 limbs at the same time.
Yeah, it's too much cognitive load.
It is a lot. Oh, man.
But bass is nothing.
It's 4 strings.
Exactly.
Sometimes 6 if you've got a bougie bass.
I'm not that fancy.
Okay, well, it's okay.
I've got a lovely old bass that's only 2 years younger than me, though, which is really cool.
Oh, Oh.
Yeah.
Was it like a special heirloom of the family? I was going to say hand-me-down.
Not
but
the
that makes it
family,
sound
but
povo.
it was from my first youth pastor who taught me how to play the bass. It was cool. And then bought it. My parents bought it off him, or bought half of it, and he gifted the other half of it to me, kind of thing. And I've had it ever since then.
That's
And
really special.
yeah, it is really special. And it's 37, 38 years old, and it's beautiful, and it weighs a ton. And if anyone tries to take it off me, I could just flatten them with it if I wanted to.
It wouldn't damage the base, you don't think?
Probably not.
Don't swing the neck at it. Just go the body.
But yeah, that's my base.
Robbers be gone.
Exactly, yep.
It's a robbers be gone. It's like the people that have baseball bats under their beds. You would have your base under your bed so that you could thump someone. Although if you're a robber, I don't think you would go into the master bedroom first and be like, hello, I'm going to rob your house.
Thankfully, my little dog would be
My little dog, when I had a little dog, who has now gone to doggy heaven, Lily, she was a racist dog. She barked at Asians and Indians only. I mean,
what did you teach her?
I didn't teach her anything. I'm half Asian. She should have been respectful of all of the cultures. I don't know why, but every time one walked past the window,
That's funny.
But like a Caucasian person walks past the window,
fine.
nada. Not even a stop of the snore. She just kept snoring away. But it's like she could smell them. Maybe she could smell stir fry or something.
Yeah.
Or curry.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Dogs are strange.
They are strange.
You have a cat though.
My son has a cat. I've got a dog. Well, the family has a dog. But she's kind of my dog. But I almost brought her as my fidget toy this time.
Oh, did you bring tool? Remember, we're calling them tools for a purpose.
Tools, sorry.
Not a toy.
Tools.
My gosh.
Yes.
Have I taught you nothing? Did you bring your earbud case?
No, I forgot that as well this time.
Oh my goodness. I was like, I shouldn't need to remind Burke about that because he wants to show me this.
No, I forgot it.
I will show you my cute new little fidget. It's a mini coffee cup.
Is it squishy or?
It is hard. It's 3D printed, I believe, but you can push the lid down and its little eyes disappear. It's so cute. It's got anime eyes. I
like it.
And I got two. I got one that clicks and one that doesn't click. And
stealth
lovely Tim, I gifted it to him because he is coffee obsessed. He is very much a coffee connoisseur.
Excellent.
But
I knew I liked him for a reason.
Well, he's very likable.
Well, this is true.
And I got him one of them and I said, you can choose. And he chose the clicky one, which I was a bit surprised about.
Were you then a little bit also jealous that he chose a clicky one?
No, because I got enough clicky fidgets, inclusive of
true.
many pens. Like Father Abraham had many sons. Trish has many pens. And I have many clicky ones.
Trish.
Well, it's also, you've got your favourite and then you might want one that's a bit weighted and then, there's a pen thing that's going on.
I have one pen.
One favourite?
One pen that I use.
What if it runs out of ink?
I have replacement ink for it.
Oh,
it's a fountain pen.
It's a fountain pen.
But it's the only time I need to write anything with pen is if I'm writing notes in either a notebook for work or my journal.
Okay.
And with both of those, I just use my fountain pen, and that's the only pen I use.
Oh,
yeah.
I love that for you.
Yeah, it's good.
Well, I have a favourite pen, and it's excellent and cheap. And it comes in a 5-pack from Office Works, and I love it. It must be blue ink. Do you have a preference, blue or black?
Black. Once you go black, you never go back.
That's not true. Once you go blue, you won't poo. No, wait, that's not good.
Okay, so I didn't bring my earplug case. I'm sorry. I did bring something else, though.
You bought me a present?
I brought you a present. Well, I can't take any credit for this whatsoever.
This from your wifey?
This is from my wifey for you.
Okay, so for the people of the air, it says, congratulations on your uterine eviction. I'm having a hysterectomy, peeps, and I'm pumped because it has done its time.
10 days to go, 9 days to go, something like that?
Oh, look, I'm not even, no, it's on the 22nd, and so it's a little way away, like a couple of weeks. She was a bloody bitch anyway, literally. She's so funny.
She is.
I'm actually so chuffed that, oh, wait, hang on, I should open the present. Thanks for my present. I'm really appreciative. And there was a bow. There's a bow. Oh, my gosh. Yeah. Okay, the people of the screen can see this. If you don't know what this is, I shall describe. It's a bulbous bottle which you would fill with water and a little kind of a neck that is got a right-angled kink to it. And it is to fill with water and you squeeze it while you're urinating to dilute the wee from your nether regions so you don't get sting. I'm
Correct.
pretty sure it's got some kind of technical term, but it's a no sting down south thing.
Yes.
Do you know the technical term?
No, I've gone entirely blank on what it is. So
She probably told you, and
I think she calls it a peri bottle.
a peribottle. That's correct,
Which-
because that's your perineum. Your
Yeah.
perineum is the area between your legs for males or females. Anatomical term.
Yep.
There you go. And oh my gosh, there's a second thing in here.
Yeah.
She generous.
She is.
Oh, I know why you love her. 1, she's a cutie patootie. 2, she's friggin' funny.
Mm-hmm.
And 3, she wants to be friends with me, so she's absolutely got excellent taste in human beings.
Who's the one?
Inclusive of you.
Who's the one who's been chasing her in messages for the last however long to be her friend?
I haven't been chasing her. You make me sound like some weird stalker. I'm going to show people what my second present is. Oh, so this looks like a fidget tool of some description, but I'm very sure that you put this long kind of super-duper looking thing in the freezer, which is full of like kind of red Orbeez, which it's kind of paradox.
Yeah.
And you put it in the freezer, and then I'm pretty sure you put it down your knickers for a little bit of cooling relief after a surgical something or other.
Yeah.
Or, you know, pushing out a baby. Now, the funny thing is, for those that did tune into our first episode together, Burke's wife is a doula. And then I was like really sad because she posts on her socials about like all the lovely things that she does for the beautiful women that she gets to journey their pregnancy and birth process with. And she was so gorgeous, and she posts all these lovely things that she's going to do, or this is the little pack and it's my last visit and this is what I'm bringing. And I wrote to her on a DM and I said, hey, like I feel like I want to have a baby just so one, I can get a goodie bag.
Yeah.
And who doesn't love a gift? And she goes, oh, I could be your hysterectomy doula. And I'm like, I'm not sure what she would do. And she goes, I will Google it. And bloody AI came through with some goodness.
Yeah.
ChatGPT came through
Amazing.
with some excellent answers. But she did think that a peri bottle would be essential, and clearly a cooling gel, freezable, pouchy, which is reusable. So it's, you know, we're saving the whales.
Exactly.
Yeah,
These
excellent.
ones.
Oh, that 3D printed little guy is excellent.
He is very
I
excellent,
also
yes.
have an axolotl that's green.
Nice.
And I also have like albino axolotl earrings.
Of course.
Well, because they kind of like articulate and they're a bit cool, and I can just, it's kind of
nice.
like hair twirling, but with your earrings. Axolotl twirling.
Yeah. No, I get that.
That could be a
This guy
thing.
has not stopped moving since he's been in my hand the entire time.
He's
so.
very cute.
He is. I do like him.
He came with an adoption certificate.
That's cute. That's funny. I should just go home and print one of these. Yeah.
You could.
Yeah.
Let me know how you go. I don't know how you get the white dots on it though.
I do. I'm a 3D printing nerd.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe we can have a side quest about that later on.
Just so we can use the light. That one.
Exhibit A. The
Yep.
light is on. And it wasn't on for all the other side questing that we did.
No.
Because it keeps turning off because I didn't put it into an actual brick. I just put it into my my power bank, my Asian power bank. I don't think just Asians have power banks, but I'm pretty sure they patented carrying them around like a selfie stick.
Yeah.
Well, I don't see many Westerners walking around with a selfie stick down the CBD of Melbourne.
True.
Do you?
This is true.
Okay.
Yeah.
We did have a topic of discussion that we were going to traverse
we were going
into.
to talk about something.
Yeah, we did. And it was adulting, which, let's be honest, is hard enough.
Yeah.
And it well,
Not a fan.
you know how our kids often say to us, I just can't wait to be an adult.
Mm-hmm.
I'm definite that your kids say it at some point in time during the week.
Oh, an amazing story to tell you for the next side quest.
Oh,
But continue.
no.
No.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So, yeah, go, do it.
Go. So my son.
Start, the lights are on.
Hey, my son is 15.
Yes.
Turned 15 in May. He's been excited about getting a job.
Yeah, because
He's
when you're
15?
15 now, you can get a job.
Old enough to have a job. And he's like, independence, money,
Who
responsibility.
isn't interested in all of those
all of those things. Responsibility, sometimes some people aren't, but he's quite proactive about the fact that a job would be good for me. It'll teach me stuff. This will be good. I'm going to do this. This is going to be fantastic.
Good for him.
So we were at a friend's house on Tuesday night for dinner, and then just sitting around
With the kids.
Yep.
Yep.
Sitting around afterwards, sitting around the fireplace because it was a freezing cold night in Melbourne, and we're talking about me and my mate. We're talking about jobs in general, not necessarily whinging about our jobs, though we were whinging about our jobs. And then my son just pipes up from on the couch. He's just, oh, by the way, I've applied for 2 jobs.
I'm sorry.
And I'm just like,
did a self-directed applied for some jobs?
Yes. I'm like,
Go here.
okay, this is awesome.
I'm curious. Sorry. What jobs did he apply for?
He applied for Woolies as
Oh.
a not as a like a checkout kid, but a
Trolley
like
boy?
day shift cleaning and trolley collection kind of thing.
Excellent.
Yeah, absolutely. And then also for the other one, which I've gone entirely blank about as well. Oh no,
Great fathering.
reject shop.
Oh, I was going to say, did he go for the reject shop?
He did go for the reject shop,
So
and
good.
was like independent enough to go. He's like, well, the Woolies is close enough that I can walk. The reject shop I can ride a bike to. So it's not even places that mum and dad would have to drive me because.
How thoughtful.
Well, I mean, you say that, but we've had conversations about the fact when he's like, can I apply for a job over here? I'm just like, I'm not driving you 45 minutes one way for a casual job.
Yeah, no,
That's not gonna happen.
That's not going to fly.
Yeah, you're
I
gonna
mean,
pay
when
me
we lived in country towns, our
There was
parents
no
would
choice.
drive us to our jobs because they were only 10 minutes down the road at most. So really,
Yeah.
that has really,
Which is really cool.
That's made my heart
Yeah.
glad.
So it was great, and we started talking about it, and then the conversation drifted off to other things. And he's like, oh, yeah, and I forgot to tell you, I had a video interview with Woolies the other day. I'm just like, what the actual fuck?
Wow. Okay.
I'm like, okay, when were you planning on telling this?
Was he only
To
going
us?
to tell you if he got successful?
No, he
or-
just had forgotten to tell us.
Bless.
Yeah,
Bless.
yeah.
Okay.
It was like, okay, when was this?
Well, now you know.
He's like, oh, it was just the other day. Like when? He's just like, oh, well, Dad was at his desk and Mum, you were in the front room watching something on TV.
So
and
you were both home.
we're
You were
apparently both
unawares,
home, and he's on a
unbeknownst
video
to you.
interview on his computer for a job.
Should we now be traversing the landscape of should parents be aware of what their teenagers are doing on their screens?
Well, I'm usually very aware of what my teenager is doing on the screen, and it's
And this involves money or more money input.
money input for him. So yeah, but no,
Oh.
I'm just he clearly is ready to grow up.
I'm thrilled.
Bless him.
So good.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? That is why you can't get a job at 13, because at 13 you're definitely not thinking about that. Your frontal lobe has not developed enough to
No.
go, oh, I need to get a job that my parents don't need to drive me to because they said no.
This is true.
So
So maybe he might have a job soon,
this is very cool.
which would be very amazing.
Oh, I wonder what you're going to teach him about, what to do with his money. Because we did talk about adulting being challenging enough.
Yeah.
Adulting with, I guess, ADHD,
Yeah.
neurodivergence at play
Yep.
is actually,
Gets even more tricky.
it's like extra tricky.
It's double adulting.
Yeah, and
triple
I know
adulting.
there are books about that, and there's like self-help whatevers, and probably this podcast will somehow become helpful maybe for someone. But look, I think we've got wisdom to share. We are wisdom as humans.
It's helpful for me to get to hang out with you.
I think so. It's helpful
a
for
good
our
excuse.
souls.
Yeah.
But it is tricky to adult. It is tricky to adult in general in terms of juggling money, juggling your emotions, juggling your wants and needs versus your dependent people's wants and needs versus your spouse's wants and needs versus your animals barking incessantly for dinner. That happens, right?
Not with a Scout, but that's cool.
Does Scout get his own? Does he have a self-dispensing dog food bowl? I don't understand what you're trying to tell
We
me.
train Scout to be a grazer, so she has food available 24/7, and she just goes and eats a bit when she wants.
All right, fine. Well,
Yeah.
Scout sounds like me, except I'm not a dog. I'm a human. I
Yeah.
like to just nibble.
But you are also small and cute.
I don't know
Ruined
why
the
I did
moment.
that.
Ruined the moment.
I am small and cute, everyone. Let it be known to the world. I'm average height for a woman in Australia.
Okay.
And considering my mum is pretty much a hobbit and my dad is
Your
a tall Dutchman,
your
I
mum is
did all
tiny.
right. I benched
don't-
in the middle.
Yeah.
I
It's true.
could have come out a lot shorter, maybe.
You could have also come out a lot taller.
I'm average height. I can reach most things in the supermarket without climbing the shelves and then accidentally
Hey.
falling on me.
Nice. Yeah, you're doing
I feel
right
like
then.
that's a brag.
That's absolutely.
'Cause
You're
sometimes
independent.
Adulting at a supermarket's hard.
Oh.
Can we just talk about impulse buy items?
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
obviously the real world advice for everyone out there is don't shop if you're hungry because you just buy snacks. You buy snacks that are on special. You buy snacks that you were like, oh, that reminds me of my childhood. I'll buy those, lemon cream biscuits that you squeeze and the little worms come out. I don't know.
I remember those.
They're a bit salty, but then they're sweet. I don't know. Like, so when I go shopping, that's what happens if I'm a bit hungry. And then there's the impulse buy things. Now, if you go shopping at Aldi, which is a little bit of a licorice all sorts kind of a store,
Love it.
the impulse buy section is like a full snowsuit or a hard drive at the checkout.
Yeah.
And
When you went for bread and milk.
yeah, so sometimes you just come out with a lazy hard drive or
Or a mountain bike.
a mountain bike that folds up.
It folds up.
Because
Why not?
everyone wants a foldable
Why
mountain
not?
bike.
Exactly.
This is
The amount of times I've taken a photo in the middle aisle of Aldi and sent it to my wife, Beth, and gone, what do you think? You know, and she's like, what would we need that for? I'm just like, oh, yeah, that's a really good point. I just saw it and got really excited, and I'm just, no, we don't actually need that, do we? Okay.
Isn't it awful when you text your spouse really excited about something and they actually reality check you to a point that you're like, now I'm actually embarrassed that I even went down that pathway, but it was a good thought for a little while.
It seemed perfectly plausible in my mind. I was very excited.
Well, I am going to traverse just a slight way about your lovely wifey that gifted me some really cool pre-uterine eviction party giftings. I'm really thrilled that she agreed to be my friend formally when I asked her. Now, for those that don't know, neurodivergent people, we love clarity. So sometimes we are like the 2-year-olds in the sandbox that say, will you be my friend? And the other one goes, yes. And then job done. Like it's confirmed.
Yep.
And there's
we are
no
friends.
questioning.
Done.
So I said to Beth, I was like, wow, I really want to be your friend because I think you're awesome and excellent. And she goes, oh, I thought we already were. And then I was like, shivers.
I did not know you guys had this conversation.
Oh, well, we did. And
Nice.
it's going well. We've also booked a pizza hang.
Yes.
Without the kids. So
Yes.
we will have fun drinks and have like really bougie pizza toppings that are not Hawaiian. I mean, Hawaiian's excellent for those that like a little bit of pineapple on their ham with some cheese. But we will have things like burrata and prosciutto and other delicious spicy salami and like excelente, di salute, nom nom, bellissimo, prego, etc. Oh.
Cool.
Etc.
Yep, etc.
Is that Italian? Probably not. Sorry, Italian folk that are listening to my bad Italian. I never learnt it at school.
Fair enough. Did you learn a language?
I did. I learnt, well, obviously bilingual Indonesian English as a child. Sorry, self-brag. I don't know. It's not very useful.
Well, apparently Mum was trying to teach me Tamil when I was growing up. Mum's Malaysian Indian. Yeah. So, and her family are all
She went with Indian. Tamil instead of Malaysian?
Well, because the family all speak Tamil.
Oh, okay.
And so like her mum only spoke Tamil and a couple of her older sisters only spoke Tamil. So it'll be like, well, if you learn Tamil, you can actually then communicate with your grandmother.
Which is a win. Yeah. Can't you just nod and smile and let her pinch your cheeks? That's what I'm an Aussie boy.
Yeah. Look,
okay, then.
Growing up,
you do play cricket.
Half in Australia in the 80s and 90s was confusing at times.
You're in a country town, man. I think it doesn't get more confusing than that. A very small country town at best. Okay, so yes, and then I learnt some French and Japanese because high school I went to taught that. Primary school taught Indonesian, which obviously I excelled at because
you would have taught the class.
Correct.
Were you teaching them all the naughty words that they weren't supposed to know?
Oh, you know how when they do the roll, you're supposed to pick a word in the language to answer the roll. They call your name Trisha, and I would say some fancy schmancy word that no one else had learned yet because we were still on colours in grade 4.
Yes.
So I used to come out with some excellent little one-liners or like phrases, and kids would turn and look at me like I was speaking some kind of sorcery over the class.
Oh, you were.
And really I was saying, this is boring AF.
Perfect.
Sorry, but the problem was that I thought I was being a smart ass, but the teacher could obviously understand and there was no dice there. There was a lot of Trisha would do better if she could focus and attend in class. Trisha would do better if she didn't
apply
talk
herself
so much and if she behaved herself.
Trisha had a lot of potential.
Oh my gosh, all my reports said that.
All right.
Except
If
she
only
talked-
they would apply themselves.
Yeah, that's so rude. That's a classic ADHD report card, everyone.
Every
In case you need
single
decoding for what those
year.
teachers write, because they can't say your child is a turd or your child is like a hyperactive maniac that climbs the walls and ruins all my displays that I spent all holidays putting up. They can't write that.
No.
They have to write these politically correct statements like, they would do better if they applied themselves, or they often are the cause of conversational infiltration within the classroom, which is code for they talk too much.
Yeah.
Just say that. I would
They-
appreciate that more, to be honest.
I don't know whether to say this. I'm going to say it. They put me up and I skipped year 9.
Oh, did you skip year level? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to process.
Yeah.
You just bragged that you skipped year 9.
I'm not trying to brag about it.
You skipped year 9 or year 10 or
Year
year
9.
8?
Year 9. I skipped year 9.
Oh,
I'm
that's
trying to-
actually
it's a
good for you.
year, yeah.
Because year 9
Good
is a
year to
hard
miss,
year.
Yeah.
Do you know in some schools they send year 9s off to a different campus
Yeah, it's a
to
good
be
idea
like
to do that.
freaky deaky
Yeah,
somewhere
yeah.
else?
I missed some good stuff in year 9. That was the stuff, all the not so good stuff happened at my supposedly really good Christian school. But that's another matter altogether. We're not going to go into that.
Behind the
But-
bike sheds, people. Everything happens behind the bike sheds.
No, it was bottles of Jim Beam in the lockers. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, it was, the whole thing was ADHD kid. Never knew I was ADHD.
No, you were just in trouble a bit.
Well, I was there. I always knew where the line was, and I'd walk all my friends right up to the line, and then I'd stop, and they'd just trip right over the line and get in trouble.
Me
But-
too.
Yeah, how good is it? It's just
It
like,
was
I know
excellent.
exactly how to push right to the edge of the limit, and then just go, I'm stopping right here. Everyone can see that I'm stopping right here,
Mm.
and everyone else is just going blah 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 blah. and then-
Because we also have the inherent fear of getting in trouble.
Oh yeah,
So getting called into the principal's office, getting smacked by our parents, getting chased by a wooden spoon by our parents. Not
Yep.
that any of our parents would have done that.
Never.
Okay, well, whatever. It's out there now.
Yeah.
Because back in those days,
it was the 80s.
it was the 80s. And now you would get like, I don't know,
CP phone calls.
a lot of those. And then they would knock on your door. Anyway, there would be a lot of mandatory reporting if you
Yes.
were to say anything about that at
Yes.
school.
Anyway, so I used to finish all my work so quickly that I'd just get bored and sit there and talk and distract all my friends.
Of course, me too.
Exactly.
Because
And
we
so-
were so efficient.
That's it. And also because it's like, you know.
Okay, so you got
So there's,
ejected from year 8.
the solution
into
was-
year 10.
let's remove him so the others have a chance of actually getting through
Is this how
school
you got
with
ahead
that.
of me in life?
This is how I got ahead. This is why I was a little baby 17-year-old that finished high school.
Oh.
Yeah.
We talk about that being challenging actually in the
Mm.
scope of, you know, making a decision of when you send your children to school
Mm.
if they're on the cusp.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
you actually were tracking with everyone else and then you got
And
catapulted
got
forward.
booted up one. And the idea was that it was supposed to be harder, and it was.
Yeah, because socially you would have been like playing catch up and pubescent wise you were probably like also playing catch up.
Yeah.
Boo.
Academically, it didn't really make a huge difference either way, I don't
Oh.
think. Like, I still did.
Of course you did well.
Of course I did well.
Anything an ADHD turns their hand to is exceptional.
And this is the thing, because
We
I
are
was an
forever rewarded for our last minute efforts that are literally burning the candle at both ends.
Friday morning, year
Yeah.
12, double free period, study periods, Friday
Yeah.
morning.
What did you
Period
do?
3 after recess on Friday, English. So English essay would be due for the week.
Mm.
Didn't have to think about the English essay until my free periods on the Friday morning. Go to the computer lab, write the 500, 600 word essay, hand it in. I know that's coming back with an A.
I'm only smirking because this is the story of my high
She
school
did it too.
journey. Oh, I
Yes.
did it as well. And I'm not ashamed to admit that
And-
we were rewarded for this. Therefore, our whole adult life has been set up for a fall
Oh, yeah.
in a big way.
Absolutely. Yep.
Just
It's wild.
adulting is hard.
Mhm.
And we have finally come back to the original topic.
We got there.
Yes.
Because then you get out of high school,
Yep.
you get out of those support structures. And that's the thing, like my psychiatrist when I was being diagnosed was just like, how the hell did you actually get through high school? I'm just like,
We were
what?
spoon fed. The periods of high school, each class was 45 minutes.
Yep.
You had a little movement break to get to the next class.
Yep.
And that was literally what our attention span was.
And there was very clear communicated, this is what needs to be done.
yes,
And then also
because all high schools want their students to do well.
there
So
was,
they don't look bad.
exactly. And then there was also like, well, if you're not going to do well, there's consequences. And the fear of the consequences is just like, yep, okay, so I've got to do them. So I've got no choice.
Did
So
you get called a nerd a lot or a square? I did.
my school was tiny. There was like 30 of us in my Year level, not class. All of us.
That's very mini.
Yeah.
Does that mean you only got to do like 3 subjects because everyone had to do the same?
I did 2 math subjects
Oh, you
and
nerd.
physics. Yeah, no. Turns out, no.
You don't like those
No,
things. You're a creative. That's so interesting for you.
Yeah, but
I did all the health science.
tiny
subjects,
high school, there wasn't a huge amount of. The other option was doing extra subjects by distance ed, which means that I had to be entirely in control and self-motivated to do the
It's a
study.
nightmare. It's like going, do you want to go to the conference or do you want to just do the live link? Who actually does the live link at the time?
Ooh.
Or who actually does the live link and doesn't do 7 other things at the same time?
No, this is like you
Or
do the live
actually-
link so that you get the recording and then you never actually watch the recording.
Oh my gosh, the amount of money I have spent on educational input for myself that I have never. I think I spent $1,000 on multiple courses by my absolute OT crush, and every year it lasts for a year, and I get to about the 13-month mark after that I've purchased them, so they're already lapsed.
Yep.
And I can't access them. They're not on my login or whatever.
So you have to send the email going,
I
I'm so
send
sorry.
the email and I say, I'm really sorry, just life happened, blah, blah, blah. And I used to like go, life happened and this happened, and I'd write so many excuses.
Oh,
But now I just say, I'm really sorry, I have ADHD, and I totes like was mad for it when I bought them, and then I didn't actually book into my diary when I was going to do them or find a body double.
Yep, 100%.
It was a self-fail.
And that's the thing about it, like going from high school and then getting out of high school.
Yeah.
And then going, okay, now all that stuff is now your responsibility.
A lot.
Yeah.
And that's why I
Yeah.
found uni really hard, because high school, spoon feed,
Yep.
do well, clap, clap, clap.
Mhm.
Then you get to uni and it's like, well, if you buy the course, if you get the course handbook and you read it, excellent, you'll do great. So I spent a lot of time, thank God I lived on res, to be honest, because so many people on my floor all did my subjects or all did part of my course or whatever. And so I could just go, hey, what's going on? Why is everyone like bunkering down? Why is no one going to bar night? And they're like, oh, Trish, we've got an assignment due tomorrow. And I was like, can I please have some articles? Anyone want to share the articles? I'll cook for you tomorrow. Actually, that worked in my favour.
Oh, yeah.
Because I could cook, and most of them couldn't. Most people were putting 2-minute noodles inside the kettle to cook them.
Thank you, Asian mums.
I didn't know that cooking 2-minute noodles in a kettle was some kind of genius sorcery that I should know about. But the noodles get tangled around the element, Burke.
Yeah, it's not a good idea.
And then they put the seasoning in there. So then every cup of tea, hot chocolate, coffee, or whatever that you're making with the boiled water thereafter tastes like Indomie, mee goreng, ayam, like chickeny flavoured water.
Why?
And then sometimes you get the stray noodle that had been hanging out in there for too long because no one thinks to open the kettle to have a look. Anyway,
or
so
to
this
make
is
the noodles in
why
their
it
cup.
was a bit of a fail at uni in terms of, well, I got a very good enter score when we were young, but now called ATAR score.
Yep.
I got a very good one.
Mm-hmm.
Very proud of myself. Little shiny halo. Keep polishing it. Lovely.
Well done.
Went to uni. Thought this will be a breeze because I aced high school. Nah. 1, I had to self-motivate to get to class even though I lived on campus. 2, I also had to like get my own articles. They didn't just give them to you and stuff. And 3, I had to keep track of due dates without teachers badgering me that was coming up.
Yep, no. It was
But I did pass university, everyone. I did have a degree and I'm very successful in my
get
career.
Degrees.
Yeah, but then do you know I've actually been talking about this with Tim? In a clinician's field, do you want a clinician working with you on you that only got 50% of the coursework right? That's a very dangerous thing.
Yeah.
So if they're making you something to support your body, for example, if they only half got that right in class, do you want them whipping you up something to support your body? Or do you want them adjusting your spine, which actually is like the hub of holding and protecting all of the nerves from your brain to your body? Do you want them doing some kind of voodoo, cracky on you, or massage that like might potentially give you lymphedema? I don't know.
See, I didn't ask degree, so it really has no implication whatsoever.
Well, okay. So the implications of a health science degree, clearly far greater.
Yeah, exactly. The implications for me if C gets degrees is, do you want fries with that or do you actually work in a cafe?
Oh my gosh. Last night I drank one of those mini cans as a nightcap.
Wow.
It was a Cosmo, and I thought it would have the same alcoholic content as the pina colada that I drank at the wake.
Mm-hmm. Nope.
Well, the wake pina colada was 14%
Mm-hmm.
in 130 mils of
Mhm.
liquid. Very dense.
Mm-hmm.
I will just confirm for the
Yeah.
people. And then the Cosmo was 22%, 2.5 standard drinks in this
Nice.
weenie can.
So you're just having shots before bed?
Well, I legit could finish it in 3 mouthfuls, pretty much. And then I was like asking for kebabs when I was laying in bed.
Of course.
Apparently only telling half stories and laughing about them. Like, you know how we can sort of, and let's do that.
Mhm.
And Tim's just like, I'm not really sure where you were going with that, but there was a lot of words missing. And I'm like,
Yep.
I told you the important ones and the rest of the conversation happened in my head.
And that's where it needed to happen.
I did ask for kebabs though, and Tim said no, which I thought was a bit rough at the time because, you know, when you've had a beverage or 7 in a mini can, you get the munchies.
Mm.
And then I said, oh, well, what about a ham and cheese toasty or a croissant? And he goes, we don't have any of those ingredients. It's nearing the end of the week, my love. And I was like, I need chips. I need chips in a kebab, hot chips. And then he went to the pantry, bless his soul, and brought me a packet of mini Pringles and some Doritos. And I ate chips in bed and there were crumbs around me when I woke up. I'm not really sure where I told that story, but it was a good story.
It was
and
cathartic for you.
it was healing.
It was very healing.
But adulting is hard.
Adulting is hard. So I entirely forgot about one of my subjects for 12 of the 13 weeks I was doing that subject.
As in you forgot you enrolled in it?
Yep.
Oh, you forgot to even go.
Forgot. Well, it was half online and half like tute-based.
Oh.
And so I forgot to attend the part that I was supposed to attend. And then kind of only realised in the last week. And it was a photography subject. And so I then had a week to try and pull a portfolio together that was supposed to be done over 13 weeks.
Were you rewarded because you just nailed it?
Because I did it.
Of course you did.
And so I passed. I was just sort of like, go.
High five.
Yeah.
Yay. Okay, well, you know, again, the ADHD dopamine drop at the very last minute and the panic that you might fail has driven you
My
to
entire
produce
life.
your best work.
Absolutely.
And legit, that is our entire lives.
100%.
Well, this is also what we wanted to traverse a little together in our conversations today is that when we adult, in general, hashtag hard, hashtag difficult, and hashtag we have to, then you add kids to the mix. So you kind of have to look like you're performing and got your business together to a degree. We all know that there is a copious amount of comfort eating or comfort suckling on some kind of beverage that helps you, like a hot chocolate or whatever.
Suckling was an interesting choice of words.
I don't know why I said that. I think it's the gin. Maybe I made a strong beverage for us. Oh no.
Yes.
Um,
I'm going to keep us on track. Adulting.
So you add kids to the mix and then you're responsible for other beings, not just yourself. So you can't just wing it all the time because kids need some kind of forward planning. You can't suddenly go, oh my gosh, they are Googling all sorts of things because I didn't put any parent controls on their devices or on the internet or search engines, etc. So we actually have a very steep learning curve again as adults with neurodivergent brains when we have children, because it's actually a big slap in the face that we're probably still behaving like children somewhat.
And then there's things like you go, okay, those things are covered, fine. You know, kids are going all right, blah, 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 blah. And then you get your kid piping up going, oh, wasn't I supposed to have an appointment this afternoon? And
oh my gosh, when your kids parent you.
Yeah, you
Sorry.
were. I'm going to quickly call the clinic and say, hey, yes, so sorry, we forgot about that. And then you have to pay the ADHD tax because it's more than 20 or closer than 24 hours until the appointment. And so you still have to pay for the thing anyway and say goodbye to a couple $100 for no reason.
Let's just talk about ADHD tax for a moment. We traverse that slightly with our hobbies that we passionately embrace by buying all of the gear that is top of the range because we're going to be excellent at it, obviously, as ADHDers. Then those hobbies die in the ass after we've perfected them after hyperfocusing for like 3 days or whatever. And then that box of stuff goes into the graveyard, aka the ADHD tax. Also, my online purchases are ADHD tax repeatedly. I bought the same glasses twice.
Nice.
They were excellent. We did wear them to the funeral. Fee and I both wore them to the funeral. And you did ask if we would do that, and we did. Fees aren't quite right. I think she entered in slightly wrong details on the prescription. I can see out of mine, she sees stars. But they look great.
Yeah.
And who doesn't want to have a little bit of stars in the eyes every now and then? Okay, maybe not.
No.
But the ADHD tax is real when you have children because, yes, you pay for things that you forget to take them to, or
you pay late fees for, even just with our kids, late fees for bills because you forgot to pay it,
not even just for kids' bills.
No, your
even
own
the
stuff.
Electricity.
Mm-hmm.
I get the electricity bill that has the discount if you pay on time.
Mm.
You only get the discount, people, if you pay on time.
Yep.
I mean, or if you pay at all. I do pay my bills because I direct debit everything.
Here's a pro tip.
That is the first tip.
Yeah.
Direct debit is your best friend. You just give them some kind of card, bank account, I don't know, whatever is safe for you. And that means your bills get paid on time. Your electricity remains connected.
Yes.
Your water also remains
Your internet
flowing.
stays connected.
Well, we all know that if you have children, if your internet dies, you may as well die too.
Quickly. Very quickly know that, oh yes, that bill didn't get paid. For me, it was, I get paid monthly.
Also, paid monthly is like some kind of evil.
It's kind of evil. It kind of works because I've made.
It works. Why?
Because
then you have no money at week 3.
Yeah.
Don't you just spend it all in the first week like I do?
No, I'm the non-spendy one in the family, which
I feel like we can't be friends anymore.
You and Beth will get along great.
I know. Because she bought me things for my vagina.
She buys me things. It's wonderful.
You don't have a vagina.
No, not for my vagina.
A mangina? That's a term, apparently.
Oh, okay.
Mangina. I'm not sure if that's... I'm thinking too much about that. We need to move on.
We'll move on. What I was going to say is that the way I've avoided the ADHD tax is because I get paid on the same date every month, is then making sure all the direct debits happened like the day after that.
That's wisdomous.
Yes. And so then there's and because then it counteracts the whole being paid monthly and going, oh crap, these bills come in and I don't get paid for another 2 days. The bills will get paid monthly the day after I get paid. Done. Dusted.
Genius. Direct debit for the win.
Yep.
After payday, obviously. Otherwise, you're going to get in trouble.
Yep.
Some kind of budgeting is required.
And this is the thing, like I grew up and like
we talked about this last time. Both our
Did
parents
we? Yeah,
were
taught
ledger
us.
books
Yeah.
people.
And
they had a ledger
taught
book.
us a lot. Like Dad taught me a lot about theoretically how to budget. And for a long time, I was just like, whoa, what is wrong with me? Because I can't do it.
Well, can I just say, it's actually, well, budgeting's not the difficult thing. Sticking to the budget is somewhat difficult. Yep. But also, I guess, well, I've lost my train of thought. It's gone. It was about budgeting. It was about money spending. Basically, direct debit is a good thing. But also, if you're never taught how to save money, that's also bad because then you kind of just spend what you have. I feel like the kids of today, I found the thought. I feel like the kids of today don't understand money as well as we had the opportunity to because we dealt in a cash economy.
Yes.
And they deal in figurative money of a tap and go.
Magical money that doesn't actually appear
And
anywhere.
so the only reason that they would never get their chicken and chips or whatever when they go out is because when they tap, it goes, declined. But when you have cash, you can kind of go, okay, well, this amount of cash is for here. You could do the envelope method, old school, and put, envelope for food, envelope for petrol, etc., etc. But the kids of today, it's like I tap and it's there, like some kind of magical refilling account. Maybe that's our fault. Is it our fault?
I don't know. My kids are still cash-based. But that's going to have to change if my oldest gets a job. He's going to need a bank account to get paid into. And that's
Hang on, do you pay your kids cash pocket money?
Yeah.
I used to do that, and then I had to get cash out all the time, which was really hard.
But it was really handy because they keep spending it on stuff that they have to use a card to purchase, so they give me the cash back. And then next week, I'm just like, here's cash. Yeah, it's probably the same like $10 note that's traded hands like 17 times.
Who
or something
cares?
like that. But
it seems to work.
It works, yeah.
We did a big cash scavenger hunt around the house the other day because my eldest had to bring cash from what he was putting into the donations for their missions week. So they all do a project together with a peer and they do it to fundraise.
Yep.
And so he and his peer friend made fidgets together, which he makes fidgets for Kaiko Fidgets. And anyway, usually he gets paid per piece. And he said with his friend, whatever they made together, they would put those proceeds straight back into the fundraising.
Yep.
And I thought that was a really lovely idea that he was sharing his job with a friend in order to fundraise. But he had to give the cash to the school of the amount of money based on how many that they had made. All fine and well, except it was like $250.
Oh.
That's a lot of coin. It's not like the gold coins under the couch cushions. We're talking about some serious paper money. Actually, it's plastic money now, but some serious notes.
Yep.
Basically, I was like, oh, where did I see that $50 note? Oh, yeah, I hid one under my desk mat. So I sent my son under my desk mat and he found $50 there. And then my daughter was like, do you keep cash there? And I was like, no,
Busted.
never. Don't go there ever. Anyway, usually it's like underwear drawer or something where children would not fall sick. But we literally were going, okay, what's in your wallet? What's in your wallet? Yes, I'll transfer money into your Spriggy account, blah, blah, blah.
Yes, done that conversation many times on the way out the door because we need to go pick up something that's, a marketplace purchase that's cash. Does anyone got cash? No.
Oh my gosh, it's always the children's wallet though, because grandparents always gift grandchildren a cashola, which is great. But yeah, now I've cleaned out everyone's cash stash and
skint.
The house is dry.
Oh.
There used to be like some envelope above the fridge. That's gone. Everything's
Well, apparently
gone.
there was $250 just lying around.
Well, no. It took like 2 children's wallets plus my cash stash that I'd forgotten about, but I kind of was like, oh, yeah, I think I saw a $50 note one time. And I raided all my pockets of my jackets because sometimes that was my uni saving thing. I used to put $5 in every single jacket pocket at the end of winter. And then when it was next winter, you put your hand in the pocket and be like, oh. And then I moved up to $20 when I got more money. And it was an excellent savings scheme. Anyway, so savings, it's important to learn about that. Apparently you need to have savings if you're a grown-up. That's what adulting is.
See, I always just spent the money I had and then figured I could eat toast until the next payday, which I did when I was a uni student.
Phone a friend.
Nah.
I would be like, hey, I have run out of money. Can I eat at your house tonight? Well, I feed people a lot, Burkey. We know this.
Yeah.
So I think perhaps it is not that
You're
bad.
owed some feeding.
Yeah, just like it's like the reciprocal feed. Yeah, so that would work well too. Okay, so we've got that. We've got some budgeting. We've got some savings. We've got some...
Where we were going to go was like what happens when you're trying to balance your own
needs,
neurotypical needs.
Correct.
When there's still other people that are dependent on you.
Yes.
Which was me yesterday.
Talk to me about this.
Yeah, so yesterday was a horrific day for me. We don't need to go into the why. But my wife knew it was happening. Beth knew it was happening.
Yes.
I was out all day, in meetings all day. And so she knew that I was going to have zero capacity when I came home.
Beautiful that she was
which was
like anticipating that.
Yeah, which was great. I got home. I turned on my gaming PC, being slightly optimistic that maybe I could just sit there and zone out and that would be enough for me.
And build some dopamine up
Yep.
and regulate. Yep.
Nope, wasn't enough. Had to make a phone call because I still had to be an adult and pay for a telehealth appointment that my son had done while I was out for the day.
Okay.
And then I'm just like, nah, I need full cave mode.
Yeah.
Bed. So I did that. So this is one of the things that I've been learning is that there's a beauty in not hiding that from your kids.
True.
Because, so both my kids are neurospicy to some degree.
Yep.
And so both of them experience overwhelm, shutdown to some degree as well. And so I always struggled for the longest time hiding any sign from them that I'm not coping. Like I have to be the one that is holding everything together. I need to show them the fact that dad is here for them,
Yep.
and Dad is dependable, and that's okay. They can come to me at any point,
Yep.
and that's going to be okay.
Yep.
Which is great
Yep.
and ideal, not practical. Because the reality is, days like yesterday happened, and so I walked away from my computer, going, "Yep, that's not going to cut it." And Beth was out. That was the other thing. Beth was out with clients.
So you were the only parent
I was the only
in the
adult
household.
in the house
Yep.
with 2 kids at 5:30 p.m. at night.
Which is, for those that don't know, that don't have children, witching hour because they're hangry and they need the foodies.
Yep. But, I mean, it's taken me 39 years to get to this point.
Yes.
Realistically, it's taken me like 2 years in therapy to get to this point. But I walked past my daughter who was sitting on the couch watching something on TV, and I could tell very clearly needed engagement.
Yeah.
Which
you had no spoons for.
Which I had very little spoons for. No, I had no spoons for. Yeah, you're right. And so I said to her, I am going to lie down in my bed. That is what I need to do right now.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to come and plonk next to me and put the TV on?
Smart.
And so we can
bring the person to you instead of
we
you
can
be
be
with the
in the
person.
same space.
Yep.
We'll chuck something on the TV
Yep.
that
Is
we
not
don't
painful.
have. That is not painful, and but also not something that has to be hyper engaged with.
Sure.
It can just be semi background noise.
Yeah.
And it worked wonderfully. Beth had amazingly worded up the kids to get their own dinner.
Bless.
And then she got dinner for us when she got home. Well, that's a whole other story because Menulog screwed us out of $50 last night. But that's...
Sometimes
I had a
the
lovely
delivery
fight.
meal
I had
service.
a lovely fight with the customer support agent on live chat last night. That was a bit.
Gee, the fact you had spoons for that is impressive.
It was a great distraction, I tell you what. Just like, I don't have to worry about the issues of the world because this person is not giving me a refund and I need a refund.
Wow. I'm really sorry that your delivery of meals did not come.
So then we had to drive out and go and get food.
Stop. That's like hunter-gathering old school.
Right?
And it was raining last night.
It did stop right then, thankfully.
Well, that's lucky for you.
Yeah.
It was still piddling down here.
Yeah, fair enough. And we drove together. Well, like Beth drove so I could just jump out of the car, grab the food, jump back in. It was great.
Jump and run.
But yeah, like that's the thing. It's just like I've had to learn that even though there's times where I am in this shutdown, because I'm supposed to be an adult, but the reality is life goes on and there's kids.
I'm curious.
Yep.
Who is the god of, yo, if you're an adult, you got to have your business together and you cannot actually authentically live your life and tell your kids, hey, I'm having a hard day, hey.
You sound like my psych. Shush.
Oh, but I'm just like saying, who made
true.
that rule?
But it's true. And that's it.
It's harsh.
It's one of those things that I've had, for some reason, hardwired in my brain that I've got to try and wrap my head around.
I do feel like this is a generational shift
Yeah.
because our generation are becoming more aware and cognizant of the fact that our kids need authenticity,
Yep.
our kids need honesty, and
Yep.
our kids need us to, A, apologise if we F up.
Yep.
Because we do.
Of course.
A lot.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he and I more than the rest of the world. ADHD is
I
unite.
actually said me first.
We fuck up a lot.
I'm Buddhist to that, don't worry. No, continue.
Are you telling the people of this?
We're just having a nice little chat here, don't worry.
You're talking to the people of the screen, and dudes, we're supposed to be united. Real Zealers are about being real and authentic.
It's true.
And so I'm drumming home the point that it is super essential that we absolutely are authentic with our kids.
Yeah.
We communicate, hey, I've had a hard day. It is a get your own breakfast for dinner kind of situation, or 2-minute noodle it up, whatever your capabilities are as a 4-year-old, as a 10-year-old, as a teen, whatever, Uber something, fine.
Yeah.
I think there is no harm in actually being honest about the fact that sometimes we need to bunker down into our little burrows and have our cry, suki lala, mope and mope, or say to our kiddo, hey, I need to be here. I'm like so sick or whatever. Come and plonk next to me. You won't catch it. And we're going to just hang together so you don't feel like you're like some like ousted little child, because that's the other thing. Our parents' generation and generations previous to that were very inconsistent potentially with attachment and like hot and cold. Like if they're having a hard day, we just get the cold shoulder. But and there's no sort of discussion about it. It just is like, oh, my parents are being weird.
Oh, they're in a mood.
It's a get your own situation, or don't go near the dragon's lair, whatever it may be.
Yep.
Now I'm just like, hey kids, I'm like mega hormonal. So like FYI, I'm going to cry at everything, scream at everything, and maybe like just get your own food because everything just annoys me today.
Yep.
And they're like, oh, Mum, Perry must be doing you a number.
Mm.
Well, you know what? I say that a lot. Perry's doing me a number. I blame perimenopause
Frickin'
for
Perry.
everything because, let's be honest,
Not Perry the platypus, just to be clear.
there's a platypus named Perry. Oh, man. I unplugged the side quest light so that we could have battery power for the phone.
It's fine. We'll continue.
But what I am saying is authenticity with our children absolutely does help in the adulting space when you're an ADHDer.
Absolutely.
Absolutely does. And people of the air, people of the screen, take note. Apologise for fucking up or being a dipshit or saying the wrong thing or forgetting to take your kid to a certain thing or forgetting to go to parent-teacher interviews. Oh, for goodness sake, the amount of times. But not me, obviously. I'm an organised parent. But at the end of the day, it is super, super important that our kids see an authentic, real adult. Yeah. Otherwise, how are they going to be authentic, real adults?
That's it. The wonderful thing is in being authentic and being realistic. That's the other thing, not just authentic, but just being realistic about it. This is my capacity for the day and things like that. Yeah. It's given them the language to be able to differentiate between I just don't want to do this versus actually no, I am significantly overwhelmed and overburdened at this point. Yeah. And as a net result, that's actually taken stress out of our life and relationships. Because now there's times where my kids can actually communicate to me in whatever form that needs to be at the point. No, it's not just that I don't want to go to school today, but I'm actually in a really deep hole and I can't. Yeah. Or this is what I need now, as opposed to I'm just being sooky or moody or something like that.
So there's the wording there. Won't and can't. Won't is will not. Yeah. So there's a will attached to it. Yep. And can't is I just cannot. Yeah. I don't have capacity. I don't have the bandwidth. I don't have the mental headspace, whatever it is. Yep. And then there's the other side of it. So there's won't and can't. And then there's, what was the other words? Whatever. Like, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So there's actually some real difference in the words that are being used there because for neurodivergent individuals, it's not a I won't do it. It's an actually I can't do it. And there is a real difference in that space and holding space for that and being respectful of that space for that. If we can't respect our kids in that, how are they going to respect us in that? So it does go both ways, don't you reckon?
And look, I'm also on the journey of just learning that with myself.
Yeah.
And being honest and true about that with myself. And haven't been for the last period of my life up until now. Hence, I'm in a period of burnout and depression. Yeah. But that's because it's been this whole, I haven't actually been listening and real and honest with myself about what I actually can't do. Yeah. And been instead blaming myself that it was just something I didn't want to do. Yeah. But in giving myself relearning, but then B, giving myself the grace to go, no, this is actually beyond your capacity at the moment. Yeah. It actually makes the path out of that particular circumstance, day, whatever, a bit easier as well. Last night, I fully expected to completely write off getting home after the meetings. Yep. I thought that was just going to be me done for the rest. I would have no capacity for interaction with anyone, and any decision-making, anything like that. Not only did I get into a large text message fight with customer support, but...
Lucky customer support of any log.
Exactly. But Beth and I actually had a great chat. By the time we'd had dinner and it was time for our youngest to go to bed, I was feeling okay. And I could see that she needed a bit more intentional time. So I was just like, hey, kid, get ready for bed. I'll come and read to you for a little bit. Which is something we do every, once or twice a week kind of thing. Yeah. And that we've set up intentionally as not every night because there's nights like I'm not up to it. Yeah. But I never expected that going through the day I had, expecting to just be wiped out for the rest of the day. Never thought I'd then be going at 10:30 at night. Yeah, I'm going to come and read 2 chapters of a book out loud to you. Because it was giving myself that permission to go, actually, no, this is what I need in this space. Even though I'm a parent, and being honest with the kids, like, I just need this now. I love you. I wish it wasn't this way, but get your own food.
But doesn't that highlight that when our needs are met and we have an opportunity to regulate, recenter, recalibrate, it actually fills our tank
Yeah.
somewhat
Yeah.
and enables us to do a little bit more.
Yeah.
But if we don't listen, we get into burnout mode, we get into shutdown mode, and it's harder to recover.
Yeah.
But knowing as well as individuals what nourishes us, what fuels us, what allows us to reset, obviously food is a really big part. I mean, if you are hangry, nothing's happening for you people.
No.
Your brain is in shutdown mode. It is starved, literally starved. And then you've
Just wanted my HSP, damn it.
Well, now I'm still thinking about those kebabs that I wanted late last night.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway.
We both got denied our good Greek Middle Eastern food last night.
Yeah, we need to talk about what you did get in the end because now I'm a bit sad for
It
you.
was pizza. It was good, but it was not as good.
It was when you're hankering a particular thing, it's really hard. Your needs weren't met, right?
My needs weren't met.
But knowing what your needs are is really important.
Yes.
Knowing how you can meet those needs, whether it's solo time, whether it's actually getting out there and doing something to refuel yourself because it's social recharge or whatever it is. For some people, it's reclusing, and for some people, it's social recharge. Making sure that all your basic needs are met. Rest, hydration, and food. Super important.
Yeah.
But also communicating that to others so that they can understand, hey, you need a time out. And that's totally okay to have that because then you are able to pour out of a non-empty, completely dry well, cup, whatever, to your little one. Yeah. How special. Yeah. How special. And also great, you communicated that to your spouse and said, hey, I'm having a day, and she was then able to word up the kids and the kids were then able to sort themselves. Now, I have been known personally as a mama to text my kiddo when I'm leaving work to say, I've had a bit of a day, everything's gone pear-shaped, FYI, I'm coming home 45 minutes later than I said, get yourselves a snack, AKA also when I come in the door, I'm going to be cooked, so don't ask me about when dinner's happening, maybe just like it's breakfast dinner or whatever it is tonight.
I love it as just as you walk in the door, what's for dinner?
Well, yeah, but if I didn't communicate that, that is the question I would be met with, and then I would probably skits it. And not, for want of a better word, but it's not that I want to unleash the Kraken on my children and my spouse, but if you don't communicate you've had a day and there's a bit of a farm going on in your head or you're in the shutdown mode or even that you're feeling sick and you just need to crawl into bed, no one can give you compassion. Because they just think you're at status quo, not you're at breaking point. And when you're at breaking point as an adult, you can't adult, let's be honest. It's not a I don't want to adult, it's I actually can't. I cannot pay that bill. I cannot get dinner on the table. I cannot make sure that your clothing is clean for the next day. Whatever the case may be, there is a lot in parenting and in adulting that we actually overlook when we're singles or when we're just a couple where we're two separate adults that are doing life together. But the other adult can care for themselves.
Exactly,
Children somehow lack that ability because they're still on the learning curve.
Gosh, what jerks.
They don't mean it. They're still growing, Berkey. We know this. They're not jerks. We love our kids so much. It's absolutely disgusting how much we love our kids because they are like the most loved up little humans and, teenage humans.
Big humans.
Taller than us humans. Actually, is your eldest taller than you?
That much still to
Getting
go.
Close. My
like
eldest is taller than me, but I am a woman, so that's fine.
And you're short, so.
Oh my gosh. Take the Nido cube that's mini and
fun.
I've worked it till it's soft. Oh, I kind of caught it. Okay. So knowing yourself, knowing what your needs are, being able to communicate that with others makes a big difference to helping you adult as a neurodivergent individual. But also having like some kind of help signal to your bestest of friends. I don't know about you. Actually, I'm going to take a smart guess and say that you do have some kind of help signal with your closest, your nearest and dearest. Obviously, Beth is your closest, nearest and dearest. Tim is mine. He knows my help signals. And sometimes that means a lack of self-care in terms of I am not putting on my nice coloured mascara. I'm wearing the basic or nothing at all, which means I just look like I've got washed out Asian eyes that are just disappearing into my face when I smile or don't smile. But all of those little key telltale signs our nearest and dearest are attuned to and they notice that we have gone for the same pair of pants that we've pulled off day 5 instead of getting something new out.
My best friend lives 3.5 hours away from me.
It's a way away.
It is, but if there's a day where I haven't sent him some ridiculous meme or something online, then it'll just be later in the day. He'll just be like, "You okay?" Or
He knows
a little worried about you. Like we've been friends for so long. He knows, like, we know when each other get up. We know when he's out without having ever communicated it. At this time of the day, he's going to be scrolling through his phone and finding things, and will send them to me. This time of the day, I'm going to be scrolling through things and find things on my phone and send them to him. We pebble with each other.
I love the pebbling.
I'm sorry, I don't pebble back with you. But
I didn't notice that, but now I'm ruminating on it. It's okay. I am going to peg that as you are also in an acopic mode at the moment.
Yeah. Also, I haven't figured out how nerdy your humour can get.
Oh, it's dirty humour.
Yeah, that's
and
true. Yeah.
Nerdy and
yeah.
Well,
All right,
try it.
I'm going to try you out. Yeah,
try me out,
yeah.
and if you get, you're never going to get crickets unless I'm going through a time, and then you'll know.
Then I'll know that you're going through a time. That's it. Yeah.
There you go. So there's the telltale sign.
Yep.
People stop responding.
Yeah.
You know that they've gone to ground. I think rounding this out, adulting can be a challenge at the best of times.
Yep.
Life throws curveballs continuously, work-wise, job-wise, financially, kids having things happen that we don't anticipate.
Mm-hmm.
There's just a lot that we don't anticipate in life, and humans, need we say it, but a lot of people are like, oh, I don't want to routine myself, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, humans are creatures of habit and creatures of circadian rhythms and ongoing processes that help us feel centered. But when those things are out of kilter, it greatly jilts us and it greatly roots us over and does us a number, and we're full fucked.
And like the other one final thing is that I don't think anyone ever actually knows how to adult. And I think we all, I don't know whether this is true or not. I kind of get the feeling that we're all kind of thinking they're supposed to do this ideal of what an adult is supposed to be, and we're trying to figure out how to do it. But I think that's everyone.
But nobody knows.
No one actually knows.
We're all stabbing in the dark.
Because this is the thing. I was like having the friends we were at dinner with on Tuesday night, because, you know, we're old. And for some reason I am...
Stop saying that. I still think we're 12.
I know, but this is the thing, that I employed babies. And so his friends, I work with this guy and his new wife, but he was born in the year, like on the very end of the year 2000.
I'm sorry?
Yeah.
You in the 2000s?
Yeah. Yeah, my car's older than him.
I can't even. Stop.
Right?
Oh,
but like
man.
they've been married for 6 months. We're at their place for dinner, kind of thing.
fresh.
It's so cute. And chatting with them just about stuff, you know, settling into routines and stuff. And I was like, dude, this is cool. This is the first time I've got to see you be house husband at home and like doing the dishes after a meal and stuff like this, because it's the first time that we've had it actually in all of our schedules and headspaces and everything like that, been able to make it happen since you guys got married and settled in. But I'm just like, this is really cool. He's just like, yeah. He's like, I really like it. It's just like, it feels weird. Still feels like I'm pretending to be an adult. And it's like, dude, that doesn't change. Like,
do you reckon when we're 80, we're going to be like, hey, Burke, I'm really struggling to find my dentures. Like adulting's hard.
How am I supposed to respond to the food requests in the nursing home?
The nurse has offered me a sponge bath. Should I make a dirty joke or not? I don't know.
Oh, no.
Well, I will be making dirty
you
jokes
will
when
be.
I'm old.
That's true. Yeah,
Very
not just when you're
smutty,
old. Yep.
Terrible. Still
Yep.
already a thing. Maybe we are all faking it. Maybe social media has given us a false pretense about what adulting, inverted commas, looks like.
Yep.
Who knows?
And I think it goes back to the generational thing about, I don't think there was the authenticity for our parents to ever say that we don't actually know what we're doing either. We're just figuring it out as we go along.
Yeah,
And,
well, if they had said that a little bit more, I think I would be doubting myself a lot less now.
Right. And that's and that
so
is...
this is the learning curve of today, is that our parents did the best they could with what they knew and what they had at the time. We are now traversing a landscape where we are afforded some more opportunities to understand about our bodies, our brains, the way that impacts our kids. And we are changing the narrative on how things are done.
Be honest with the kids.
Be honest with each other and with the kids. And mostly with ourselves, Berkey, because if we're not honest with ourselves,
we're not being real.
Well, there's no real zeal. So at the end of the day, get yourself some real zeal. Be authentic.
That's it.
And, well, have fun drinks while you're doing it, even if it's a mocktail.
Thanks for having me.
So good.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, bye, bye.